6.4, it's just finding the derivatives, again, of more functions and more things you need to memorize. So basically, these are the formulas right here. And then what I did here was try to give you at least 2 examples to give you an idea on how to use them. And so here's the first one, exponential. To find d over dx just means find the derivative of an e function. Basically, if you look here, it's just copied down exactly the way it is, but then you also have to take the derivative of u. So here's 2 examples just to show you how to do an e. So if you see d over dx and you see e to the 2x squared, you just copy it down. And then you also have to take the derivative of the u, and the derivative of the u is 4x. And they usually write that in front. So I'll do that with this next one. Again, an e is easy. I like the e because I think it's easy because all you do is rewrite the exact problem. And then you take the derivative of the exponent, which is 3. Final answer. So that's the first formula. The second formula is the derivative of a to the u, which is a to the u natural log of a du dx. So there's 3 things. Okay, you'll know to use this because if you look at the derivative of 9 to the negative x, it's usually the other way around, x to the third. And the derivative of x to the third is 3x to the second. But how do you do it if it's 3 to the x? See the difference between these two? If the number is raised to a variable, you would have to use this one. So I'm just going to follow it. Again, you're going to copy it down exactly the way it is. Take the natural log of the number, and then take the derivative of the exponent, which is a negative 1. The derivative of a negative x is a negative 1. Again, a number raised to a variable, you copy it down the way it is. Take the natural log of the number, so the natural log of 4, and then you take the derivative of that, which is 2. So here's one part, here's the second part, and here's the third part. So here, those are 2 formulas. The next one, I gave you 2 examples of the next one. So here are the 2 examples. Here's one of the examples, and here's the second example. When you're doing an ln, this is the formula right here. The derivative goes on the top, and the original part after the natural log goes on the bottom. So you see this problem right here? Let's put it right here. See, it's ln. ln, you need a fraction bar. The original after the ln goes on the bottom, and the derivative of that goes on the top. So the derivative of x squared plus 1 is 2x. Final answer. This is the ln rule, the natural log rule. Again, what is the derivative? And you're dealing with natural logs. The original goes on the bottom, and the derivative of that goes on the top. Yes, you can simplify this because a 2 goes into all of these. Okay, that's the third rule. This is the fourth rule, and it looks like I only gave 1 example, so let's do one more example here. So let's say you're doing the log and you're not doing the natural log. And if you're doing the log, it's 1 over ulna. So you need to know what your u is. You need to take the natural log of the base number and then find the derivative. Again, you've got to memorize all these for the AP test. So 1 over ulna, the u is the square root of x, natural log of 5. And then you have to remember to take the derivative of u. And the derivative of u is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, which simplifies to 1 over 2 square root of x. So this ends up being here, and then when you simplify, it's going to end up being 1 on the top. Do you see that you have a square root of x times the square root of x? So you're going to have 2x natural log of 5. for your final answer. So let's do one more. When you see the log, you know it's going to be 1 over ulna, and the u is the 5x squared plus 3, natural log of 4, times the derivative of the u, which is 10x. Final answer. Okay, the next rule, powers that are irrational. And it looks like I gave you 3 of these. It's just similar to x to the 3rd power. The derivative of that is you multiply 3x and you decrease y by 1. And that's the same concept. If they ask you to find the derivative, 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2x, and then it's the square root of 2 minus 1 up here, whatever, and you want to just leave it like that. So again, x raised to a number, to find the derivative, it's 2 pi minus 1 out in front, x raised to the, if you subtract 1 from 2 pi minus 1, you get 2 pi minus 2. And the last one, x to the 1/2 is the same thing as 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 minus, or not minus, plus e, because you're going to multiply this and this together, and that's why it's positive e, x to the negative e minus 1. Okay, those are all the rules, and the last 3 are just going to be using these rules. So, part 1, the spread of the flu is modeled in a school, and this is the function. How fast, which means finds the derivative. Derivative, velocity, how fast, that means, so you're trying to find p prime t, and this is a fraction, so you're going to use the quotient rule. Low times the derivative of the high, and the derivative of 100, any number is 0 minus 100 times the derivative of the low, and the derivative of 1 is 0. And how do you do e? Okay, we just went through e. You copy down the e. It's easy. Just copy it down and then take the derivative of that, which is a negative 1. So p prime of t, whoops, all over 1 plus e raised to the 3 minus t squared. Okay, 0 times anything cancels out. A negative times a negative equals 100 e to the 3 minus t all over 1 plus e to the 3 minus t squared. And you want to know how long it's going to be spreading in 3 days, so in place of all your t's, you're going to put a 3 and solve. So it's going to be 100 e, 3 minus 3 is 0, and you're going to go 1 plus e to the 0. So this ends up being 100, and this ends up being 1 plus 1, which is 2, and it's going to be, did I forget to square it? 1 plus 1 is 2 squared is going to be 25 per day. Okay, and the last part, I think we have a couple more. Here's at what point on the graph of this does the tangent of the line have a slope of 21? So again, you need to write down this one. You're trying to find y prime because you're trying to find the slope of 21. Remember, if it's a number raised to a variable, you're going to just write it down. Then you're going to take the natural log of 2, and then you take the derivative of t, and the derivative of t is 1. There's 3 things that happen, and then the derivative of a negative 3 is 0. So that's the derivative. And then what you're going to do is, in place of the y prime, you're going to put 21, and you're trying to get t. So you're going to take 21 divided by the natural log of 2 equals 2 to the t. So you're just gonna natural log the 21 over the natural log of 2 equals the natural log of 2 to the t. So the t will come out in front. So whatever the natural log of 21 is divided by the natural log of 2 is gonna give you your answer, which ends up being, I think like 4.921. Whoops. And these are just, I don't know how many I put out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all the rules, and you just have to know how to do these just by looking at it. So I'm just gonna do a couple of these 6 and be done. Again, it's a natural log of ln. You know you need to put the original after the ln on the bottom, and the derivative of that on the top. This stands for y prime, but in trigonometry, you learn that cosine of x over sine of x equals tangent of x. So like this might be on the AP test, and you might get it to here, but the multiple choice, you need to find tangent of x. Cosine of x over sine of x might not be an answer. Y prime here is, you just copy this down, take the natural log of the base number 7, and then take the derivative of that, which is a negative. Final answer. Okay, the next one, y prime, you're going to take the 2, this is called the chain rule, leave the inside alone, raise it to the first. Now you have to take the derivative of the inside, and the derivative of the inside is the natural log. So you need to put the original after the natural log on the bottom, and the derivative of x is 1. So the book will have it as 2 on the top with x natural log of x on the bottom. Okay, y prime for this one. This is 1 over the u, 3x squared, natural log of 6, times the derivative of the u, which is 6x. So the book will have it simplified to, there'll be a 2 on the top because 3 goes into 6, 2. The x and this x squared will be 2x natural log of 6 is what the multiple choice question on the AP test will simplify down to. Y prime for this one, you copy this down. E is easy, you just copy it down, but then you have to take the derivative of cosine, which is a negative sine of x, goes out in front. And number 6, last problem, the pi will go out in front, you leave the inside alone. The power goes down by 1, so it's pi minus 1, but then you also have to take the derivative of this. And the derivative of 2 is 0, and the derivative of sine is cosine of 3x. But then you also have to take the derivative of that, which is 3. So that 3 pi will go way out in front. Final answer.